Working in a cancer center, you witness moments that most people can only imagine. You're there when life-changing news is delivered. You're there when patients confront their mortality. You're there to celebrate the milestones and to shoulder devastating losses. Today, I'd like to ask you a personal question. What keeps you going when your world falls apart? This question has been central to my journey from cancer patient to healthcare innovator. Reflecting on my transformation, I identified 5 key elements that not only helped me survive cancer, but also led me to find my purpose. These are adversity, compassion, audacity, scarcity, and resilience. Adversity holds the seeds for transformation. Compassion connects us to something greater than ourselves. Audacity empowers us to dream beyond limits. Scarcity awakens our resourcefulness, and resilience turns our challenges into triumph. These 5 elements were the bedrock of my transformation, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to explore them with you today. My story began in rooms like yours at Yale Cancer Center, where lives change forever. It was there that I confronted adversity, not as an abstract concept, but as a harsh reality that shattered my entire world. Getting a cancer diagnosis freezes time. In that moment, everything we know falls apart. I lived that moment. I was that patient. First came a lump, then a second, then a third, then a fourth. Thus began my descent into medical hell. 10 core biopsies, endless oncology visits, and still no answers. So the gruesome process continued. On my 12th biopsy, what should have been routine became a nightmare. The radiologist kept taking samples over and over and over, turning a core biopsy into an unplanned mini lumpectomy without anesthesia. Whew. The results arrived, benign. These words should have brought relief, but I had reasons to suspect a missed diagnosis. So I moved mountains to get an excisional biopsy in the same location. I was right. I had cancer. The life-changing news was delivered in an email. As you can imagine, my life fell apart. What would you do if your life fell apart? A question haunted me. If this can happen to me, a highly educated patient, what happens to those who can't advocate for themselves? Would they have been able to overcome the failures I experienced? In these dark moments, when I felt I was drowning, I discovered I wasn't drowning at all. I was being planted. Instead of letting my negative experience fill me with anger or resorting to legal action, as many in my positions would have, I took the road less traveled. Leveraging my background as a designer, I started interviewing patients to get a better understanding of the system's shortcoming. The stories I heard were heartbreaking. Again and again, I encountered patients who were dismissed, mistreated, or received inadequate cancer care because of their race. I realized that my personal struggle was just one thread in a vast tapestry of patient experiences. Each conversation opened my eyes, and more importantly, my heart to something greater than my own journey. I came to a deep understanding that compassion isn't just about feeling another's pain. It's about being transformed by it. My experience became more than personal. It became a bridge that could turn personal pain into collective actions, individual stories into systemic change. To build this bridge, I needed to take bold action. Attempting to transform medical care without a medical degree is not for the faint of heart, and many people advised me against it. But here is the truth. It's precisely when the path ahead seems impossible that we need audacity the most. Instead of a medical degree, I brought a different perspective, an engineer's understanding of systems, a designer passion for the human experience, and the fearless viewpoints of someone who has navigated the system's failures firsthand. While healthcare providers observe the journey from one side of the bridge, I had crossed that bridge myself. This gave me insights that could only be gleaned from firsthand experience. So I asked myself, what if I could make the invisible visible? What if I could help providers truly understand the complete patient experience? What if I could highlight moments where care breaks down and builds bridges across those gaps? These questions moved me forward because I knew I had something unique and essential to contribute. I saw solutions where others saw obstacles. I recognized critical failure points that were often overlooked. I understood the systemic and human aspects of care. These insights were not mine to keep. They needed to be shared for the benefits of future patients. With this determination, I combined my design and engineering skills to create new pathways in healthcare. I developed tools to map the unobservable aspects of the patient experience, revealing critical moments that could transform outcomes. Yet, audacity alone wasn't enough. I encountered another element that paradoxically became my greatest teacher: scarcity. We often think of scarcity as the enemy of innovation, whether it's insufficient time or limited resources. But what if we were wrong? What if scarcity could actually fuel innovation? You see, cancer stripped away everything I once took for granted: my health, my job, my savings. The conventional path would have been to wait for better circumstances, wait for funding, wait for someone else's to fix the problem. Instead, my lack of resources sparked an urgent need for action. I boldly invested my last savings into in-depth research. With no income to support me, I had very little time to make a difference. Night after sleepless night, I poured my ideas onto paper. The insights I gleaned from my research energized my thinking. And slowly, a framework emerged, one that could transform patient care. Facing scarcity awakened wells of resourcefulness I never knew I had. What I once saw as limitation became my strongest catalyst for transformation. Now came the true test of resilience. Even with a clear vision and a solution, I faced the daily reality of being perceived as a patient in academic medicine. Without an MD, my insights were dismissed. I learned that resilience means finding strengths in the places that seek to undermine you. Instead of feeling depleted, I reassured my inner innovator that resistance was a common response to disruptive ideas. This mindset allowed me to see setbacks as opportunities for discovery. With each rejection, I refined my message. With each dismissal, I strengthened my vision. I kept reaching out to physicians and medical leaders, fueled by the unwavering belief that someone would eventually recognize the potential of my ideas. Then it happened. An oncologist at Emory School of Medicine saw what others had overlooked. Together, we secured a $750,000 grant to pilot my solution, marking the first time a patient led a major academic medicine research project. My research transformed, my workshop transformed how providers saw patients and received unanimous positive feedback. This success led to my next milestone, $1 million grant from Genentech. This breakthrough demonstrates the power of resilience. Without an MD, I was invisible, seen solely as a patient instead of an innovator. Yet, I proved to them that combining patient experience with design and innovation skills was not just valuable, it was transformative. So I ask you, what will you do with the moments that shatter your world? When cancer shattered my life, I discovered an unexpected truth. Our greatest challenges can become powerful catalysts for transformation. Through my journey, I learned that changing the world begins within. It starts with self-transformation. It requires us to allow adversity to plant seeds of possibility. It involves embracing compassion to expand our perspective. It calls us to find courage in seemingly impossible situations, and use scarcity as a catalyst for resourcefulness. Above all, it's about harnessing resilience to turn barriers into bridges. I never imagined that my journey would lead me to where I am today. And here I am, transforming the very experience that nearly broke me into a force for change. Your moments of challenge, whether personal or professional, may lead you to an entirely different journey. When those moments find you, and they always do, you have a choice. Will you let them diminish you, or will you use them as fuel for transformation?